Hey, how's it going? I'm Ben.
And I'm Bertrand, and we're with Bike Tires Direct, and today we have the new Hammerhead Karoo, which is the third generation of Karoo and the first since Hammerhead joined the SRAM family.
So Bertrand and I both got to take this unit out for a test drive. Both of us got in a pretty good ride with it and got to do the setup process and hands-on with the device, and we wanted to sort of share our impressions.
Yeah, and I guess, Ben, you've used the previous generation of Karoo before, and I've never used a Karoo before. I've been a Garmin computer user for ever.
So we can compare and contrast a little bit our different experiences getting used to this device and what it felt like.
Right,
to start with my experience, as someone who has already used a Karoo on a daily basis, it was completely seamless. I turned it on, I logged in, and it was exactly the same as my old device. So as far as setup goes, it was kind of remarkable how little effort was involved in terms of just grab it and go.
Nice.
And go! How was it for you coming from Garmin?
It was a little different. I will say I think the Garmin excels in being a really simple computer, kind of like a no frills, no bells and whistles, just very straightforward. And I think what took me off guard at first that I actually came to really like was how responsive and engaging the Karoo's screens were and how much customization is available. The display, the first thing I noticed, again, compared to other units that I've used, the display is super, super bright.
Yeah.
The colors are really saturated, which makes climbing graphs, directions, even the maps just stand out really, really well.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that was not related to the actual interface that I appreciated was the inclusion of this quarter turn mount adapter, because I didn't have to change my personal setups to get to try out the Karoo. I was able to just plop that on and it just worked right with my existing setups. So small thing, but I think it's a really nice detail.
For what it's worth, when I used the previous generation, used the quarter turn mounting adapter because I already had a out front, like a quarter turn mount. When I tried this unit out, I actually installed this out front mount and was blown away by it.
Really?
This is one of the best mounts that I've ever used.
What do you like about it that's different from other ones?
They captured the bolt. When you take the bolt out, it doesn't fall out because it's captured inside the plastic mount. And it's the smallest thing, but it's incredible. It's also adjustable, so you can move this forward and back on the mountain. I think it's a better system, honestly.
Nice.
Having used both.
Nice. I will say one thing that did take some adjusting to is that the Karoo is much more like a smartphone than I think my previous head units have been.
It's based on Android.
In that, there's more swiping that you have to do, either pulling down from the top, from the bottom, and I think that made the adjustment a little, not bad, it was just different. And experiencing those things in a place that I'm not used to experiencing them threw me off a little bit, but I definitely got used to them.
Oh, so when I used the previous generation Karoo, before that I had used a 500 level Garmin, and I actually got used to just using the buttons on both of them, which I actually really appreciate that they've given you the option of whether you use the buttons or the touch screen to interface with the device. I think it makes it, especially because the first ride I did with this was actually in the rain, and it, as you know, any touch screen, this one does really well actually, but wearing gloves in the rain, any touch screen is going to underperform. And rather than insisting that the touch screen is perfect, because everyone knows they're not, giving you the option to use the buttons is great. It also has a rain lockout feature that you can lock the touch screen so it's not activating itself, which I found very useful.
Yeah, I think for me, not having used one before, the setup was a little bit more involved because I didn't have an existing account, so I had to do a lot of the settings manually. But one thing I really did appreciate is that the bike I was using this with is an Axis bike, and without any pause or hesitation, it picked up my entire ecosystem already. And I had options to change how my shifters worked, see what gear I was in. I could add all of that to this.
And you can see the battery life of all of your Axis devices, right? On the screen. That's got to be so nice.
That was really nice.
There's two big improvements in my mind for this device from the previous generation. and they don't sound that impressive when you say them, but it is so much faster and more responsive than the previous generation device.
The buttons are?
The device itself
Oh, the
is.
device.
And then the buttons are just better. They are just...
Nice.
I think they're honestly the best buttons I've ever had on a GPS unit. They
Wow.
give so much tactile feedback, and they're very pleasant to push. I can push the buttons
Nice.
all day.
Nice. Well, that's both of our personal experiences that we've had. Overall, I'm excited to get some more time with the computer. I really only had it for a short amount of testing,
Yeah.
so didn't get to run it through the rigors of navigation. Yeah.
My navigation experience, for
Yeah.
what it's worth, I went on a ride, got myself out, 15 miles away from home, and then just hit navigate home. So you can from anywhere just go home, and it draws you a route home. And I wanted to see how good the navigation was. It went the way that I would have. I can say that much. So didn't take
Perfect.
me anywhere weird.
Nice. Well, I think the two things that we haven't mentioned from both of our personal experiences that you might be curious about are battery life. Claim battery life is at least 15 hours, and then there's also an updated glass on the screen, which is Gorilla Glass, which you might be familiar with from iPhones. So it'll be nice and sturdy. Feels really good when you're scrolling around. But I'm excited to get some more miles on this, see what the
Yep.
long-term review is like. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Bertrand.
I'm Ben.
And we're with Bike Tires Direct, and you can find the new Hammerhead Karoo on our website.